morning, fellow campers. CamperVanGuy here. And I want to welcome you to the River Ridge Club and Stables on the east bank of the Los Angeles River. Come along and I'm going to tell you a few things that you might not know about this pimped out red van behind me. The 2015 Winnebago Travato model 59g. It's 10 feet tall. It's 25 feet long from the nose to the back of the box and 9,500 pounds. It's pretty hefty. No In-N-Out burger drive-through. If you had the dog, weighs about 9,600 pounds. If you notice up top, we've got TV antennas, awnings, a lot of extra stuff that you don't have on a typical car also. So low-lying trees, mailboxes, anything like that, mirrors, you have to watch out for. No drive-throughs. Tires are inflated to 65 PSI in the front and 72 PSI in the rear. As we go from campsite to campsite, get out of the van and circle around it. So as you're coming around, do you have the step pushed back in? You just hit a little button on the inside and the step will go in. Do you have the awning all back in and secured? Is all your camping gear up? Did you pick up all your trash around your site? Coming back around towards the back, is your bicycle on secure? Do you have your PFD just sitting on top here? So that's not good, so you got to put that away. On your storage box, is your cotter pin put in? Make sure that that's always in. Make sure on your storage box, you turn, you lock that, and then use your key, lock the lock here by turning it up. Make sure that your straps are secure up to the top connections here on the hinge of the door. Make sure that your doors are closed. The other things on the side of the van here, as we move from the back to the front, this right here is your exhaust for your generator, so don't block that. Right over here is the exhaust for the car. Just make sure we're not blocking that. This little panel is behind here are the controls for the propane refrigerator. So the pilot light and the ignition controls are in here. You don't ever really have to get in there, but you don't want to block this because it needs the fresh air. Same up here, you don't want to block this. This is the exhaust for the refrigerator. This right here is the exhaust for the heater, which is a propane heater. Moving forward this way, this is your 30 amp plug connection when you're staying at an area that has 30 amp power. This is for your cable television, which I hope no one ever uses. Right here is for water. This down here is your propane fill. Okay, as we go to the front, we've got the gasoline fill tank. Just use 87 octane. And inside the door here, hood release is right here. Parking brake is right here. You have your mirrors, which will fold in. You've got 4 mirrors, so you have the top mirror, the lower blind spot mirror. They're all controlled by this little switch here. Your door lock is right here. Windshield wipers, your windshield washer fluid is in here. Oil is changed every 3,000 miles. If you're on a trip and the oil light goes off, you have about 500 miles until you need to have it changed. So if you're within 500 miles of returning back to me, don't worry about it. But if you're off in Canada somewhere or further away, I'd appreciate it if you would change it within 500 miles once that light goes off. Okay, so you'll notice on the van, the outside of the 2015 Winnebago Travato 59g, we've got some exterior speakers that are tied in with the radio from the rear of the cab. You have an exterior kind of night light right here. Right down here is cable hookup and 12 volt outlet. These are 120 volt outlets, but they will only work if you're plugged in to shore power or if the generator is running. This is the Fiamma awning system. I've replaced it. It used to be automatic. We've swapped it out to manual, which works much better. To open the awning, we take this, stick it into our little hook here. Now as I roll it out, I want to stop when I no longer see the fabric. Now this is where we stop, okay? We can pull this out now, slide this out of here, and pull that out. We loosen right here. Slide that to there, lift up, and back down. Now we can come up just a little bit, and now we do this one. So again, loosen, bottom first, lift up, push down, and we come up a little bit more, and we go until we get it at the level that we want. If it is windy out, if this starts blowing around, or if it's supposed to be windy at night, you should take it down before you go to bed, because it's no fun taking this down in a lot of wind. The other thing, if you expect rain or if it is raining out, you're going to want to drop one side. It doesn't matter which side, but you don't want it level here because all of the water will come down and sit here and collapse under the weight. So if we drop this side like this, and this acts as a gutter. To close the awning, hold on right here so that it doesn't slip down, and you'll loosen this and let it come down about 50% of the way, tighten it back up, loosen, drop it down. It can go even further down, tighten back up. This works easier if you have two people doing it at the same time, but with one person it's completely doable. So that again drops down like that, and that's all the way loose. And since that's all the way loose now, I can take this, and now it's just supported by these arms up here. I slide this all the way up, and I want to lock that so that it doesn't slide out when I go to open it the next time. And I have to have this leg right here pushed flat so that that goes into there, and then you take this and slide that down. So now this side's done. So again, loosen, lifting this part up and sliding this out. Tighten, back up here again. Fold that leg down. Slide into there. And we're good to go like that. Now, take your wand and you just crank it in. Just make sure when you wind this in, we come down and check over here, and we could see that down here it's all the way in, so that now when we're driving it's not going to get caught in the wind. As we come back around, you've got a 2 bike carrier. Got it? Okay, so to put the bike up, we're going to raise this up. We're going to fold this down, move this thing right here back to about line up with the tires. Lift it up here. This one goes in here. We can loosen that, tighten it up wherever it fits the best. And then you take this top piece, and this goes on and around the top bar, slide that in and pull back, and now you're tight. So if you have a second bike, you would put obviously the first one on here, attach that to the first bike, and then your second bike sets up here, and then you can bungee them together or use a bike lock, and that way they stay together. This is how you take the bike down. That's it. Easy. This is how it stays up. You have to move that part up to the front to make sure it doesn't hit this. Now we're good. And you can also move this down like this.
Take a look at the new Winnebagos. They have soft, cozy beds, plenty of headroom, big, airy kitchens, and well-ventilated bathrooms. With good traction and plush fabrics, they perform well in heat or cold. If you're going where the roads don't, you need a new Winnebago. Winnebago. Outdoor gear and outdoor wear with a legendary name.
All right, so inside of the 2015 big red van, the Winnebago Travato 59g, we'll start with the plumbing system. Basically what you have when you take off is 25 gallons of water, which is located right here. It's fed out of a hose from the outside. Now the hose that I provide in the back, attach it to here, turn on the water, When the tank gets totally full, there's a relief valve and you'll see water start to drip on the other side of the van. City fill bypasses the interior 25-gallon water tank. I recommend that people just use a tank fill, because then you know you just have 25 gallons. If there's any kind of a rupture on any of the lines, you're not going to flood out the whole coach. When you have a full tank of water, you will notice it right here on the control panel. You will do a level test and you will see that right now the fresh water is 2/3 full. Gray water is empty, black water is empty. So this is your black water holding tank for your toilet. This is gray water holding tank for your sinks and your shower. So once that starts to get up to about 2/3, you need to empty it. Right down here towards the back, your black and gray water sanitation tube. So you can see right here it says black waste tank drain and gray waste tank drain. There is a hose right here. I hope nothing comes out of here. Yeah, a little bit. So to connect this, you'll push this on and turn, and then I'm not going to do it because I don't want to drain anything that's in here. But you'll pull the black handle out like this. The black water will flow out. After it's all done, you push the black water valve back in, and then you take your gray water valve, which is right here, and you'll open that. The gray water, since the tank sits all the way in the front of the van, it will not flow out by gravity. So there is a pump. And let's see if this is unlocked. Of course it's not.
Are you gonna unlock it? Unlock it.
Okay. So your gray water does not flow by gravity. So it has a macerator pump, which is located inside of the tank. The switch for that is located behind this back door. Right down here, you have to press that drain pump button and it will eject your gray water. You can tell when it's empty, the pump starts to make a whirling sound, and you'll know, and no water will flow out of the end, so you'll know that it's done. When you finish, push your valves back in, you take off the hose, and you can wash it out, and then you just slide it back. Make sure when you're done that you come back and retighten this so you don't leave that on the highway somewhere. Back to the plumbing system. When our battery switch is on, your battery switch is right here. When that is on, we can turn on the water pump. With the water pump on, you can open the sink, lift this up, turn that on, and water flows. There is a little stopper here. With 25 gallons, it should last you several days, depending on how you use it. So if you conserve, it will last you longer and you won't have to fill up. Back into the bathroom, with mind you, with the water pump on. You can do your business, and then you have a foot pump, and it drains down. If you have any really big solids or anything, you need to wash your boots or something, use this guy. And it, again, will only work when your foot is on the pedal. After you empty the toilet in the black water tank, you will put in a sanitation dump pack into the toilet. Just drop it in and flush it, close it, and that will help take care of the odors. For toilet paper, only use the toilet paper that I provide. It's meant for the black tank. To operate the shower, you turn on your water here, you pull up on this handle, and then you turn that on, and that will give you shower. The water will accumulate right down here, and that will drain your shower. There is a drain or a filter underneath here for the shower. If you notice that it's not draining properly, you have to clean the drain down there. So if you'll notice the water heater button right here, it turns on now, and you see that it's illuminated, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the water is heating up, because right now we're only on 12 volts. So in order for the water heater to work, you have to have the generator running or be plugged into shore power. One of the big things with an RV is that you're running off of battery power. So this van has a combination, it's got two batteries. It's got one, what they call the house battery, and then it's got the coach battery. Coach battery is what starts the car.
That is chassis battery, not coach.
The house battery is what runs everything else in here. So everything is on 12 volt with the exception of the air conditioner, the water heater, and the microwave oven. So, and the outlets. What's always helpful if you're not plugged in to shore power at a campground, this is your 12 volt switch right here. So before you leave in the daytime to go out hiking or riding bikes or whatever your adventure is, you know, press that button, turn the battery off. You do have individual light switches here, more light switches up here, another light switch here. On this RV is a solar panel, so if you're parked in sunshine, it should keep you topped off most of the time. But again, just remember to shut lights off. Again, on your levels test, this also will show you the state of your battery charge. So we're at full. We'll see the level of the charge of the battery is right here. Scroll through this and you will see that it's at 12.8 volts and that you're at 100% charged. Your generator button is right here. Just make sure that you have at least a quarter of a tank of gasoline. The only thing you need to do, you come up here, press the start button. Even though it's running, it's still not ready to accept a load. It's running through diagnostics. And what will happen in about 10 seconds, you will see that the light on the microwave will turn on and you'll hear a clunk. All right, so that means now that we can run the hot water heater back here. It also means with the generator on, we can run the air conditioner. So the air conditioner, the first turn will give us to low heat, low fan, high fan, and then low cool, and then there's high cool, and that's as good as it gets. This right here is your temperature gauge. Just make sure that you turn this off before you shut the generator off. Because if you go to start the generator with this on, it'll just die. If for some reason you run the generator and you turn this on and it kills the generator, which has happened, turn this off and then repeat the process. To turn off the generator, we just hit the stop button. You hear that stops and we don't have to do anything else. The only thing that you shouldn't do is turn on the generator while you're plugged into shore power. If you're noticing that the generator's on and you're having trouble getting power to the outlet, check the GFI, make sure that the GFI is not tripped. This is the location of the fuse box and your breaker panel. So you have your 12 volt is on that side, your 110 volt is on this side. So breakers on the left and fuses on the right. So the refrigerator. The refrigerator works really well. It's a 3-mode refrigerator. It runs on 110 volt if you're plugged in. This is 12 volt for when you're driving the van, if you're on a long trip. Put it in this mode. When you're camped without electricity, put it in propane mode. Just because it says propane mode and the light's on, it's not running right now, so we have to light the pilot light. Directions to light the pilot light are right here. And I will just show you how to do it real quick. You have your temperature gauge, which is right here, but this is also the, I think what they call it, the primer for the propane. So you want to push in on this and click the igniter, and you hear it wants to kind of start. It's trying. Usually you have to do this 2 or 3 times, and when, okay, it's now lit, you can see that this little orange dial is going up into the green. And now it is running, the refrigerator is running in propane mode. We know this because this orange line is in the green and this is in propane mode. When it's running like this, we don't want to stop and get gasoline because you now have a burning pilot light outside of the car. Gas fumes and pilot lights don't go well together. Make sure when you're operating the vehicle that you're just in this mode, the battery mode. So you can tell now, right here, I'm gonna switch from propane to battery, and you'll see that this orange dial goes down, and so now we know we're just in battery mode. Temperature gauge still stays the same. This is a freezer, so it always helps if you keep a little, maybe a little Tupperware full of ice inside of there. This down here is your propane fill. I usually leave the switch on, except when you fill it up, turn the switch to off. Right here, that's the emergency shut off. But keep that on unless you also smell propane, then you'll want to come over and shut that off right there. If you need heat in the cabin, if it's cold at night, you've got a thermostat right here, and it will fire up a 12-volt fan with a propane burner on it. So basically you just turn that on. You'll notice right here, the heater, there's a propane burner inside, and so it just blows hot air out of the vent. So don't stack any bags or anything right here, because it will get hot. You can adjust this to operate kind of like your heater does at home. You'll just have to, there's no temperature gauge on it, so you just have to find out what temperature works for you and leave it there. To turn it all the way off, you just slide that all the way down. The fan will continue to run until it blows all the hot air out of there, and then it will turn off. Here we go. To operate your stove, you lift. This is Domotic. Lift that up, push in, turn, that's your igniter. Let go, and you can see you have propane to cook with. Turn it off like that, and then after you wait a couple minutes, you can just drop that down. I'm gonna show storage now. Okay, back, what do we have from there? You have storage up top. These are your magnetic things that go over the windows to keep the light out. This right here is for dirty clothes or whatever you can fit in there, just a little extra storage. This guy here, this is a screened in porch kind of chingadera here, little thing. You have to snap it into these snaps up here, and then when you open the doors, it acts as a screen or to keep children in. These are all just storage drawers. If it sticks, just kind of wiggle it a little bit and it'll come open, all right? In this drawer right here, you have tools. You've got some duct tape. You've got some fuses. Inside of here is just storage for hanging clothes. Up in this one, you will have the manual for the coach. This has the information for the Dodge ProMaster. Down in these storage areas, there's a toolkit and a jack, but there is no spare tire in here. If you have any tire issues, I would just call the 800 number, roadside assistance. For storage again up here, we have coffee cups, bowls, plates. Down here, we've got some utensils, little first aid kits, a wire whisk for your eggs, silverware, wine opener, some candles. Inside of here, cutting board, some cleaning supplies. To get the bed to fold down, you can drive with the bed up or down. So you just click this, take this, and fold it down like that. Now with it in a down position, this will accept double or queen size sheets. The bed itself is 77 inches by 45 inches, I believe. It's pretty close. You have a window here, some plug-in up here to charge a phone or whatever. You have a couple of reading lights. You have got a little shade right there. To fold this back up, usually take that, flip it, put that back up, and then buckle that. Exhaust. So for exhaust in here, you have this exhaust fan. So you crank that open, and it will suck air from the windows and come like this and shoot out. Just crack a window or two and it lets a lot of nice air through here. Just make sure when you're driving away that you close that. And when you close it, the motor will stop operating. For the front bed, to convert it into a double bed, you have to, 2 cotter pins under here. You pull those out. You will take this, push the button on the side, and lift up on the table. Now you see that the table comes all the way off. These two little parts right here drop down into the little magazine holder that I built, and that slides right there. And you can take this top one off. It's just held on with Velcro. Slide this out. That goes to there. This slides up like that. This cushion, and it goes in here. So now you have basically a single bed. If you still need more room, you can take this piece, put it here, and this piece here, and it sits right there. So now you have a second double bed. So we just reverse the process. Just make sure when you slide this piece in that you don't slide with the Velcro like this or like this, because it will get stuck in there. Keep it sideways. Slide back like that. Slides back again behind the seat belts. We take the table, push that down again, set that back on, and put the cotter pins back through. CamperVanGuy forgot his glasses. This is your antenna, so there's an on-off switch right here. You see the blue lights? To adjust it, you spin it like this. To get the television to work, you have the remote control, which are stored right behind here. When you open this, just pull, reach all the way and grab from the frame. So right there. Remote control is back there, storage. So you can pull that out, push that back. To turn it on, hit the TV button and then power. You'll see the little blue light turns off. There is, back behind the TV, there's an HDMI in input so that you can hook up a computer or a something with an HDMI out. So you'll notice TV's on. Again, you use this to tune if you're getting bad reception. You can see we got four lights, so that means we have pretty good reception. The volume actually runs through the stereo, so turn the stereo on and press auxiliary. So once you're in auxiliary, now we have stereo sound on the television. For speakers, you have two sets of speakers. You have an inside set and an outside. You have speaker C is your outside. I just turned that off. Speaker A is your inside. So now everything's off. If I want to hear it outside, I press speaker C on and you hear it outside. Inside, right there. So it does have Bluetooth and it has a USB charging port. So that's all right there. There's a DVD player. If you have a DVD you want to watch, you just put it in, hit the DVD button, change the source over here to AV, and you're good to go with that. But hopefully you won't ever watch TV because you're supposed to be outside having adventures. And up here you have a carbon monoxide tester, or an alarm. Press that. It's a good idea, just make sure to test that maybe, I don't know, once during your trip. Back here is smoke alarm. Just test that. Okay, and then down here is a propane gas detector. We test that and that's working. Inside of the driving compartment up here, you'll have, if you can see this right here, is your fire extinguisher and some different controls for adjusting your seat. This little thing here doesn't look like a switch, but it is. So you pull that and it makes your back go up and down. Same thing on the other side is one that helps your seat swivel, but you can't be this way when you're driving. This is only for when you're stationary, otherwise the alarm will beep. All right, this one does the same thing, so you can spin all the way around. You do have, if you notice this little guy, little switch here, and this will spin around. Now you can play a little canasta. Monopoly would be difficult because of the way it falls off like that. And maybe Yahtzee would not be so good either. In your dash, you've got a thing to test your tires. Again, 65 in the front, 72 in the rear. A radio with Sirius satellite radio. It's got navigation. I always tell people to use their phone though because it works better. You have a USB charging port, a 12-volt charging port, air conditioner, you know, everything that's in a regular car, your hazards. If you have any questions about insurance or registration, you get pulled over, all of that info is right here. So up above the visor. I think that's it.